Okay, ladies and gentlemen, things are getting absolutely crazy for crypto right now as we speak, as we've got two major deadlines coming up that could change everything in crypto. So make sure you watch this video, and if you're not done it yet, make sure you press that like button. So first off, I'll say this. In about 6 days from now, an event is going to take place that could literally just make or break the entire market. Breaking news, U.S. Treasury Secretary 𝗵𝗂 says about 100 countries will be getting a minimum of a 10% reciprocal tariff. And that is again because on July 9th, President Trump's 90-day tariff pause will officially expire. And I'm just warning every single one of you right now that the moment that this hits, nobody knows for sure if it's going to be bullish, bearish, or neutral, but it's going to be world news across the board. Everybody will be talking about it. Everybody, everywhere. And there's a good chance that the market is going to make some crazy fluctuations on that day. Or if you're in specific country or specific region markets, for example, you're in a Chinese market and a new announcement gets made on that day. You're in an Indian index, for example, with multiple Indian stocks. Perhaps the moment that this hits, if a country, one of them has some negative results or strange results, they might get hit or see a massive boom. So I'm just warning every single one of you, this could make one of these stock markets. It could also make or break the crypto market because very often they are connected. It could do a lot of things. I'm just warning you, this is a massive day to watch out for. Now, that is on the traditional finance field, right? But I feel as if y'all are more sucked into the crypto space. And I understand that because, well, we're crypto holders at the end of the day and we care about what's happening with our crypto prices. Now, over the past few days, I've already been saying that Bitcoin's dominance has been creeping up, right? Actually, it's been going on since September of 2024. We have seen an increase in Bitcoin's dominance all the way from about 38% or so to right now about 66%. Now, I have stated on many occasions, I believe this will be cut into half. So I think from 66 all the way back to roughly, let's just say it below 40%. I've said this because even though right now we've got the ETFs buying in massively, we've got companies that are specifically focused on buying Bitcoin, there'll be many retail players, institutional players as well, who will switch from buying Bitcoin to buying altcoins, as right now, the Bitcoin opportunity is hot. Everybody is buying Bitcoin. Everybody's thinking about Bitcoin. Listen. I am not saying that Bitcoin won't be bought in the future. Everybody will still buy it, but they will buy it for this gold type of reference. They will buy it to kind of be a safe haven. They're not necessarily buying it for massive profits in a very short time span. That is what altcoins are for. And again, relatively, I think altcoins will be bought significantly more than Bitcoin for a few month period. Again, Bitcoin will still be bought massively, but new altcoin ETFs will come on in. The retail is going to be coming back, which are going to be millions upon probably a couple 100 million people maybe that will be buying this season with significant amounts of money. They probably all will not really be going for Bitcoin too much because it makes them less. And again, a few month time span, every person that's been in a crypto space for a long time as well, mostly is going to be speculating on alts. Not everybody, but relatively a lot more for a short span of time. And I think relatively, if you think about it, if there's 10 million altcoins and one Bitcoin, what is the probability that this secondary market, or I guess just the same market, but the secondary assets, everything except for Bitcoin, won't relatively do a lot better than Bitcoin? I just think the probability is about 99.9%. And so I think relatively, if Bitcoin still takes up 1/3 of the entire crypto market, within the peak of the altcoin season, that's pretty freaking good. But again, relatively, the more coins that come out every single season, to some extent, you might argue that Bitcoin should actually increase in dominance because people start to realize they're all stupid, most of them at least, right? Not all, but I'm saying like 99% at least. Then on the counter, a lot of companies will also be making their own coins. A lot of these companies have crazy revenues. You know, we have Hyperliquid, for example. We also I found more use for Solana, Ethereum, where relatively every single cycle they show themselves more prominence, more longevity, and so they should relatively for the entire market have a bigger piece of the pie. And again, then there's a bigger altcoin secondary market every single time as well. So I just think that this time around, we will see dominances as low as perhaps 40%, if not less. it could even be just literally half of this. So about 33% or so for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin being 1/3 of the entire market and everything else being 2/3, it's not that crazy. Now, more importantly, though, we predicted that Bitcoin was going to be going up from here and things are looking still very much beautiful. I do want to warn you, though, that as it currently stands, what we are waiting for, what we are looking for, the make or break moment will happen as Bitcoin crosses $110,000. So right now, I opened a long position, as every single one of you knows by now. I opened this for XRP, Bitcoin, and a few others. As you can see, the Bitcoin trade, right, it's doing okay. It could have been slightly better, but again, that's because our trade did not go through to buy another $150,000 just a few days ago. But I'm not complaining. I'm still very happy with the position we got in. But the point is, I personally am speculating that right now the market is going to make a massive turnaround. But if you zoom in a little bit, you can see that Bitcoin's price action is nice, but still there's a few hurdles. And when I zoom out a little bit more, here's where you really, really clearly see it. What is the hurdle? What is the hurdle? We've touched these previous heights, but we have yet to close above them to confirm the breakout of this downwards trend. Now, throughout the day, if we actually end up, for example, at 108.5 thousand, we've actually reversed this green candle. No breakout really occurred, and everybody will forget about it because it's just a wick. If we manage to close, hopefully even above 110.1 thousand, right? We should just check it. This close, this was 110.2. So if we close above that, oh, we've got ourselves a confirmation that things have turned around and that it's switched from lower highs to right now our first higher high. Again, the low will still have to prove itself, but perhaps we consider this here, the 105, to be our new low, where again, the trend was basically this right here. Let's just call it like that. And then right now, from now forward, the new trend is going to be this, right? You hopefully get what that's supposed to look like. And this will all, for the most part at least, be decided by the end of the week. Now, I'd say that the end of the day is already a massive key player, because this today will just prove itself in terms of a, let me quickly show it to you guys again. This today will prove itself to be a reversal candle, but throughout the week, when we take again another good look at it, you can see, right, that this week, depending on how we end up, it's either downward, downward, downward with a little bit of bullishness in the middle, or actually the breakout candle. And again, if we end the week above 100 and I'm going to say 109 would be enough actually to close this week off at. We've made ourselves a higher high, and this bullish momentum can continue. So that's basically what we're looking out for on this front. Now, again, if you also want to trade crypto, if you want to do it automatically, passively, you can check out my bots over on Payonix. I talk about it nearly every single day because it's extremely profitable, but most importantly, I do nothing. So it's very, very simple. But if you want to trade the way I'm doing it right now, there's actually a nice competition going on. Check out this link right here to Blowfin. If you press it, you'll see you also get yourself a 15% bonus right now on your deposit, upwards of $300 just for signing up and depositing. Just check it out. The link is down below for that. It's a very nice added bonus because, again, it's an instant 15% basically because it's free. But also, there's a team competition going on right now where our team, we're not doing too amazing, right? I mean, we're only winning ourselves about $112 right now as it stands. We are 24th in the competition, but some teams have significantly more people. We've got a couple thousand people in, but these guys have 16,000, 11,000. We need to step up our game a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, right now the team prices are not that crazy just quite yet, but that's also because the pool is right now only $35,000, but there's a few weeks left, right? If more is being traded, the pool could actually be upwards of $4 million. And think about it from that perspective, right? Even right now, over the next weeks or so, it will for sure be 8x or 7x, let's say. Let's call it 6 to 7x from $35,000 worth of pool to $200,000. So instantly our team is already winning what? Let's just say times 6. So let's just say about $1,000 soon. But if it gets bigger, we could be winning 20 times that, right? So maybe even $15,000 for just the position that we're in. But if we get higher, right, these numbers could actually be something absolutely crazy. And last time we got second place. For a while, for most of the competition, we were first place. Right now, I think we ended up at second place. This time we're at 20-something though. So if you're a trader, make sure you join our team. Could be really, really juicy, as there's also some nice campaign bonuses and stuff you can get for just being in our team. But the link for that is down below. This number is wrong though, by the way, the 112. I'm looking into it right now and seeing it. The amount of people I see winning, more is pretty interesting. My profit, by the way, you can see It's not too crazy because we only opened a little bit of these positions after the competition started. Most of which started before. And I think it's relative to account size. And since I've got significantly more money in here than we are actually trading with, it also does not look that crazy. I'm not sure if it's based on the position that you're doing or portfolio size. I need to check that out. But regardless, for some of the people that opened the position with me when I opened it up, because I said live, hey, here's where we're buying a few days ago, you can actually, perhaps, if you are a bit more hesitant about us breaking through, actually close a little bit of your profit right now at these levels. Why? Because this is a major turnaround point, right? We were able to enter at a pretty juicy bottom. You exit at a pretty juicy top. Again, here, the $110,000 mark. Why is that? Well, maybe you, for example, want to cover some of the future funding fees. If I, for example, now go ahead and, you guys can't perfectly see it. For example, go ahead and close 2% of the trade. You can see we're making a little bit of money right there. Depending, of course, on how much I do, I make more or less money. But it could be a nice idea to just cash out. For example, here we cash out 5% of the trade right now, right there. Right? So we wait for it to get hit. Preferably slightly higher, but hey, that doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, right? But this is also, by the way, why some of these buys did not go through. Why? Because again, you open it up not as a market order and it does not get filled, especially if you're busy with something, you might forget to kind of chase it. And again, chasing it is not always good. Here we can see it got filled though. Why did we sell that? Now, take a look at this. We've got a realized P&L. So we actually made ourselves about $1,000 on it. And now, meaning that the longer we keep this open for, we're actually never going to be at a loss. And the same thing I could do, for example, for these. I can actually sell, for example, 4% right there. I can sell, for example, 5% right there. Why? To make sure that it's hard to get into a loss if I keep it open. So that's, again, a good idea as to why you sometimes want to sell little bits throughout the process. Even if you want to keep them open for weeks on end, like I sometimes do, sometimes months, it is always wise to kind of keep cashing here and there. To put it into perspective, if we open this up, right, you can see this trade, this Bitcoin trade, has cost me $31 over the past few months. Let's see, virtual trade has cost me about $12 in total. Why? Because it's mostly been short. So meaning funding fees, you get sometimes funding fees, sometimes you pay them. Wait, I'll show you a good example. Depending on whether or not the market is against you or with you, you pay/you get. If we take a look at one of my bots, my XLM bot, for example, most of the time since I've had this bot open, it's been downwards. Basically, the price has been going down, down, down. Most people probably have been shorting, right? So if I take a look at my funding history, actually, for keeping this position open, I've actually made $320 just longing XLM. Because again, it's been against me. Now, if it was the opposite, for example, we take a look at the 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗃 bot. This one is quite neutral, but you can see, let's just say the price has mostly been up. Most people have been longing. If I take a look now at funding history, I've actually paid $70 to keep this leverage trade open throughout this time. And again, it differs. Some are slightly less, some are significantly more. Our $250,000 Bitcoin bot has paid about $700 in funding, but we've also made $20,000, so I don't really care. Now, I will state that I'm not even 100% sure this number already includes funding over on BloFin because every platform is a bit different. They showcase things a bit differently. For example, on Bybit, it can easily be seen by hovering over the realized P&L. You can see I've already took out about $2,000 out of this trade, and I paid about $6,500 in funding fees on this. But again, I only put about $2,000 in, and it's about $45,000 in the profit. So I don't really mind. But yeah, if you want to trade, links are down below, as you guys already know. And make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed the video, because otherwise I'll come hunt you down.